I'm about to expose 3 moments that every man thinks prove her loyalty when in reality, those were the times she was lying straight to your face. You believed her words, but her actions were painting a very different picture. The most dangerous part? She made you question your own instincts, convincing you that you were overthinking. Before I uncover these truths, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what I'm about to share is information most women would never admit publicly. Drop your location in the comments. I want to see how many men around the world need to wake up to these hidden patterns. As a woman, I'm breaking the silence. These aren't guesses or rumors. These are confessions, strategies I've personally used and ones women count on you never discovering. Today, I'm handing you the lens to see through the lies and recognize what's really happening behind the mask of loyalty. 1. When she becomes extra protective of her phone. In almost every relationship, trust is built on openness. And in the beginning, she may have seemed like she had nothing to hide. Her phone would ring, light up, and she wouldn't think twice about you being around. She might have even handed it to you freely, asked you to play a song, or let you use it to call someone without hesitation. That sense of ease made you believe that everything was transparent, that there were no secrets. But when her loyalty shifts, so does her behavior, and the first place it shows is in how she treats her phone. The change often starts small, almost unnoticeable. She casually places her phone face down on the table, claiming it's just a habit or saying she doesn't want the screen to distract anyone. But it wasn't always like that. At one point, she didn't care if you saw the screen light up. Now, every vibration, every ping, seems like a secret waiting to be concealed. She positions it in ways that keep your eyes from catching a glimpse, creating a silent wall between you and whatever is on that screen. Then come the sudden upgrades in security. A new lock screen pattern that she doesn't share with you, a different password for her apps, fingerprints or facial recognition added overnight. She tells you it's about protecting her privacy, or maybe even about being careful with technology. But the timing is what gives it away. Privacy has a balance. It doesn't need to feel hidden or defensive. Secrecy, on the other hand, has urgency. It's not about keeping information safe. It's about keeping you out. Her reactions become the loudest signal of all. The moment you reach for her phone, even in the most innocent way, the air shifts. If you try to check the time or change the music, she's suddenly alert, almost nervous, and her hand might dart to grab it back. That tension doesn't come from nothing. It comes from knowing that the truth is sitting behind that lock screen, and if you saw it, her carefully built story of loyalty would collapse. Watch closely, and you'll see the patterns in her behavior. She's smiling down at her phone when she thinks you aren't paying attention. She's typing fast, then locking it instantly as you walk by. Notifications don't appear the way they used to because she's adjusted the settings so that previews are hidden. She might even use Do Not Disturb or delete entire conversations the moment they're over. It's not the phone itself that matters, it's what the phone represents. It becomes a private journal of conversations and connections that contradict the loyalty she claims to have. The most unsettling part is the shift in energy. A phone, once just a simple object in the room, now becomes the center of her attention. She laughs at it, gives it her focus, and treats it as though it holds pieces of her life more important than the person sitting right in front of her. That energy doesn't lie. Devices don't create distance on their own. It's the secrecy behind them that builds the wall. This behavior leaves you second-guessing yourself. You start to wonder if you're being paranoid, if you're reading too much into it. But the truth is, you're feeling the weight of something real. When someone is genuinely loyal, there is no fear of transparency. But when loyalty has already been broken, the phone becomes the shield, the hiding place, the one object that reveals the loyalty she pretends to have but has already given away. 2. When her stories stop matching her actions. At first, everything she says sounds perfectly believable. She tells you where she's been, who she was with, and why she couldn't answer your call. You accept her words because that's what trust is supposed to look like, giving someone the benefit of the doubt. But as time passes, small cracks begin to form in her stories, and you notice subtle inconsistencies that don't align with her actions. It's in these mismatches that her mask begins to slip, revealing that her loyalty may not be what she claims it to be. It usually starts with the smallest details. She says she was out shopping, but when you ask where, her answer is vague. She mentions she was with a friend, but the story feels rushed, almost like she's rehearsed it in her head. You ask follow-up questions, and the responses don't quite add up. Maybe she changes the order of events. Maybe she leaves out something she would normally share. Or maybe her explanation just doesn't feel natural. These small inconsistencies are easy to brush off at first, but they begin to stack on top of each other, creating a pattern that you can't ignore. The timing of her stories often reveals even more. She tells you she left somewhere at a certain time, but the journey back doesn't match up. A drive that should take 15 minutes somehow takes 40. She explains that she was too busy to reply, but you notice she was active online during the same period. She says she was too tired to go out, yet later you learn she wasn't home when she claimed to be. These little contradictions may sound harmless when taken alone, but together they form a clear signal. Her words are no longer aligning with her behavior. What makes it more confusing is how convincing she tries to be. She may look you straight in the eye, speak with confidence, and insist that you're imagining things. She uses phrases designed to make you doubt yourself. You're overthinking. Why don't you trust me? Or you're always suspicious. The cruel reality is that these defenses often serve to cover up the very dishonesty she's trying to hide. Instead of addressing the inconsistencies, she redirects the blame onto you, making you question your instincts. Her emotional presence also betrays her stories. She says she was at a certain place, but the energy she brings back doesn't fit the situation. If she claims she was exhausted from work, why does she return energized? If she says she was relaxing at home, why does she avoid details about what she did? These mismatches between her stories and the emotional energy she carries back to you are some of the clearest signs that her loyalty is slipping. Over time, her stories grow shorter, less detailed, and more guarded. She doesn't share with the same openness she once had, because sharing openly would mean risking contradiction. Instead, her words become vague and defensive, while her actions quietly tell a different truth. She might still say the right things to maintain the illusion of loyalty, but her behavior constantly undermines her words. This gap between what she says and what she does leaves you in a place of confusion. You want to trust her, but the evidence doesn't align, and deep down, you feel the weight of those contradictions. True loyalty doesn't require stories to be perfect or rehearsed. It shows itself in consistency. When her stories no longer match her actions, when timelines feel rehearsed, and when her behavior contradicts her words, it's no longer about mistakes or misunderstandings. It's about a carefully constructed image of loyalty that no longer exists in reality. 3. When her emotional energy is invested elsewhere. Loyalty has never been just about physical presence. True loyalty is deeply tied to emotional connection, the kind of bond where two people feel safe enough to share their fears, their dreams, and their most unfiltered thoughts. When someone begins to drift, the very first signs appear not in where they go or what they do, but in where their emotional energy flows. You can feel the shift long before any obvious betrayal. She may still sit beside you, but her heart is somewhere else. She used to lean in when you spoke, eager to hear your perspective, eager to laugh at your jokes even if they weren't that funny. But now her laughter feels reserved, almost delayed, as though her joy is being spent in another place before she brings the leftover pieces back to you. This isn't about being busy or distracted. This is about someone who is investing her emotional currency outside of the relationship. You start to sense it in conversations. The depth you once shared begins to fade. She no longer tells you about her struggles or her private thoughts, the things she used to entrust only to you. Instead, she keeps it light, surface level, avoiding the kind of intimacy that strengthens a bond. When you ask how she's really feeling, she brushes it off with quick answers like, "I'm fine," or "It's nothing." These phrases aren't harmless. They're barriers. Barriers designed to keep you out while someone else is being let in. The most revealing signs come in her reactions. A new glow in her eyes that doesn't seem to appear when she's with you. A sudden boost of confidence that seems fueled by validation from another source. She might be smiling at her phone in ways she used to smile at you. She might be replaying conversations in her head that have nothing to do with you. That spark she once carried in your presence is now being ignited elsewhere, and you can feel it, even if she denies it. Loyalty is about where energy is poured, and when her emotional energy is directed away from you, it's a form of betrayal as powerful as anything physical. She may still say all the right words, but her actions reveal where her mind and heart truly are. She's no longer excited to plan a future with you, because her imagination is already being entertained by someone else. She's less patient with your flaws, because her admiration is being redirected. She avoids conflict resolution with you, because her peace is being nurtured somewhere else. This emotional withdrawal often feels like a slow fade, but the impact is heavy. Nights that used to be filled with conversations now feel quiet. Moments that used to be intimate now feel distant. She might still sit at the same table, but she's not emotionally present. She's elsewhere, sharing laughter, secrets, or comfort with someone who's not you. It's important to understand that this shift doesn't happen overnight. Emotional loyalty erodes piece by piece. One day she stops reaching for your hand during a walk. Another day she stops asking for your advice. Eventually, she no longer turns to you for comfort when she's hurting, because she has already chosen another place to channel that vulnerability. And the irony is that she might still tell you she's loyal, still wear the mask of commitment, but the truth is visible in the way her emotional presence has been redirected. You can see it in her silence. You can feel it in her disinterest, and you can sense it in her absence, even when she's sitting right there in front of you. That is the moment you realize that loyalty isn't something she lost. It's something she gave away the moment she began investing her emotional energy elsewhere.